Greetings, kindred. Yes, it's been a while. I've been on the missing list, haven't I? But thank you to all those of you that have reached out. I'm fine. It's just been a little bit of a roller coaster over the last few weeks, so I haven't managed to get a podcast done. But we're at the full moon today, so I thought let me do this recording now, and I will be doing a video with Magi again later on next week. And we will be talking about the lunar and solar eclipses that are due to come up this month and November, actually. I will be back on the ball now. Yeah, so we do have a full moon in Pisces. Now, the full moon will reach its peak on the 9th of October at 21:54 in the GMT time zone, at 16:54 in the EDT time zone, and on the 10th of October at 7:54 in the EDT time zone. So as we can see, for those of you that understand symbols, our moon is going to be conjunct Chiron in Pisces. Now this is pretty deep and in opposition to our sun and Venus in Virgo. I feel this is quite a triggering energy emotionally. I think, there's a lot of high sensitivity kind of flying around at the moment. So probably emotional outbursts, and there could be a little bit of judgmental attitude out there, or, a little bit of the blame game. I think maybe for some, feeling like they're hitting a bit of a rock bottom situation when it comes to resources or relationship. We're kind of reaching the end of our tether, really, with this opposition of our Sun and Venus and the Moon and Chiron. Now, as you can see, Chiron is at 22 degrees and the Sun is at 22 degrees. Now, you all know, I always say, this is all about overcoming self-limitation. Now, self-limitation are, obstacles that stop us like shifting out of energy to reach a higher consciousness. Now, that will be different for each and every one of us, but with Venus at 18 degrees, I just feel like, we're watching things kind of come to an end right now, or we're feeling a little bit sensitive about how things are going in the world, or going in our lives, or going in our relationships. There's a lot of emotional energy out there, which is very highly sensitive. And, this opposition actually forms a T square towards the goddess Pallas. Now, the goddess Pallas in Gemini, wow, Gemini is a sign of intellect. And Pallas she's an asteroid, but she also represents intellect, like recognizing patterns, seeing things clearly, and having to make decisions based on that. And at 14 degrees, yeah, things may be looking pretty dark at the moment, maybe there's a lot of overwhelm, that's making us like, not being able to really get our head around things, or feeling like we're losing hope, or maybe there is also this shifting going on in our consciousness where we're becoming aware of just how dire things seem in the world right now. Because many have been affected by these situations already. And I don't have to tell you the global situation. I know most of you are already aware. But, sometimes we walk through life thinking, oh, it's not going to affect me. But at the end of the day, it will, because it's affecting us all. But, some of us are feeling pretty isolated or pretty overwhelmed where we can't express ourselves properly. And, like I said, this opposition here can be a little bit of a blame game, or maybe even like a victim mentality. Do you know what I mean? So we just need to watch out for that and try and, overcome what we're feeling, so we can actually get our heads around solutions, but it's really difficult when you don't know where you're going to be at from 1 month to the next. And, there's so many people out there that are experiencing this already. It's, some people are suffering a lot of hardship out there right now. And there's not really much help at hand right now, or maybe we don't feel the help that's being offered really does apply to our situations. But we need to reach out, or we need to stand our ground in the right way. We need to approach the right people for things to be done. There's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of help out there. We just really need to find that, find that space, do you know what I mean? And do our research. So we also have the North Node and Uranus in opposition to the South Node at 5 degrees, another shift in energy going on here. And that's creating a T-squared towards Saturn and the goddess Vesta. So this can be a little bit of a depression anyway, because we're, in a way, it's like Saturn is an obstacle in himself. He's very restricted in himself, very routined, very disciplined, especially in his own sign. But that stops us from fulfilling our passions, or, expressing ourselves in a passionate way. Maybe we're holding back because, again, it's a shift in energy. So we really do need to watch out for depression and triggers. And then we have the Black Moon Lilith in the sign of Cancer. Now, for those of you that have planets in this area, 4 degrees and 4 degrees either side. Now, the Black Moon Lilith here in the sign of Cancer, yeah, I mean, that can be a little bit oversensitive as well, maybe facing up to where we're dependent, whether it's on our local governments or a person in our lives, or, some of us do have needs, but I think we're going to have to find alternative ways of becoming more independent. And, I think a lot of us are realizing that with it at 9 degrees. So, yeah, a lot of cutbacks on our resources, or, economically, because Venus represents our pleasures and joys in life, but also our economy, our finances, So it could be that, we're going to have to cut back on luxuries in life, or, not even luxuries necessarily, but, there is a lot of cutting back I'm seeing going on here. Now, Pluto went direct yesterday on the 8th of October. And, I did say that when he starts to venture forward, we're going to start seeing things escalate. So there's a lot of exposing going on still, and a lot of kind of fearful energies being put out there. I don't think things are as dire, or need to be as dire as what they seem. And I really do feel that we need to recognize that and get in our self-power, because early next year, Pluto will enter into the sign of Capricorn. Now, when Pluto enters into the sign of Capricorn, this is Pluto entering the house of his father. And he had a deep resentment towards his father. It was Pluto that actually brought his father down. Saturn is considered the fallen angel in ancient history. He represents the fallen angel. And it was Pluto really that banished him from his own planet. And, Saturn was actually banished down to Earth, also known back then as Tiamat. So when Pluto enters into Capricorn, yeah, it's going to create a lot of change. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be pretty eventful. So You know, we're feeling this energy. We may not be aware of what this energy is, but we are feeling it anyway. And it's right on top of us now. But again, you know, 2 and 9 add up to 11. So this is all about self-mastery, self-power. Been saying for the last few years, we really got to get into our self-power. Doesn't matter how much money we got or how much material things we got. You know, we've just got to be in our own self-power, that no matter where we are or what circumstances we're in, we're going to be a survivor. Yeah. And that's the best way to look at things. I did also want to mention that I watched a program about a month ago now, but it was a prepping program. I love watching all the prepping programs. I love all the gadgets, and they give a lot of hints and tips, you know, how to get through, you know, harsher times. And you know, one of them had his dad on, and he took us back to the 70s when we used to get power cuts in this country. You know, I don't know if you've had power cuts in your country before. I know some areas in the world at the moment are actually having power cuts, but here in England, in the 70s, you know, all of a sudden, everything, the electricity used to just turn off. And, you know, back then it was quite common. So we would all have candles in our houses. Do you know what I mean? Ready to light for when the power cut hit. But, you know, we used to make those times fun. And it's true what the guy was saying. He was saying, you know, we never used to moan about it. We used to just get on with it. You know, regardless of what was going on at the time, we used to just get on with it. You know, we'd bring out the games, you know, we'd do toasties over the fire. You know, we used to make it into like a fun evening. And as a child, it was, we were oblivious to why there was a power cut. We just knew that when there was one, we was going to all like have fun, and it was going to be a bit different. Do you know what I mean? And so in those kind of circumstances, I mean, they are forewarning that there may be power cuts in England again. I don't know if you're hearing that where you are right now. Let me know. But you know, and I think things are a little bit more serious in this day and age as what they were in the 70s. Maybe, I don't know. You know, I really don't know how gross, you know. I keep hearing all these negative things out there in the media, and you know, we have to balance out, you know, what is exaggerated and what isn't. But I do know there is a lot of people suffering hardship right now with the rising of the bills, with like crops not really growing to their full potential. And many of us are not in a position either to prep like the preppers. I mean, the preppers have been prepping for years. Do you know what I mean? And many of us haven't. So we just need to make the best of what we got. You know, and it's such a shame that communities have broken down now where we don't even know our neighbours anymore. Do you know what I mean? I always feel that in times of like these, when things are getting really rough in the world or really rough in the community, that communities do tend to pull together. And I really hope that as communities we can do that. I mean, there's people in the world that take advantage of certain situations when they occur, but you know, we really do need to form our own communities. And I think in a way, many of us have got our own communities. You know, we've got our families, we've got our friends, you know, but we've also got to look out for our neighbours, you know. We've really got to take that approach, you know, just be observant. Because from here onwards, I mean, I did say from October onwards, you know, things are going to start getting rough, and they are economically. And, you know, when it comes to our resources, and that's really showing up in the chart with Pluto. I mean, just Pluto alone is telling me what we're heading into when he enters into the house of his father, because Pluto can be very destructive, and he can be very dominating, very demanding. So, yeah, we just need to kind of prepare for this energy coming in. Like I said, this is a very triggering energy emotionally. I just feel like we just need to make the best of a bad situation and stand up and approach the right people for help. Do you know what I mean? If you're suffering right now, or if you're worried, you know, there's so many resources out there to get advice. And, you know, if you're in that situation where you don't know how you're going to cope, whether that be emotionally, mentally, do you know what I mean? Or materially, even, you've got to reach out to the right people and not allow this depressing energy or this fearful kind of energy to like overcome you, you know? Reach out. Anyway, whatever platform you're watching this on, all my details are in the description box. If you want to make a comment, you know, I mean, this all the platforms I'm kind of posting my videos on, it is to create communities. Maybe we can help each other, because like, yeah, we're going to come into some times now where we will need to speak out. We will need to ask for advice. So please feel free to write in the comment section, and hopefully someone can direct you in the right way. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm looking forward to doing the video with Magi, and I shall see you all soon. Peace and much love. Take care.